If someone has actually never seen anything that you've done, what is the first thing you'd like them to watch and why?
Right now, Bruised. And mainly
Okay.
because I directed it, starred in it, like it's so much of who I am. If you really want to get an idea of who I am as the totality of who I am as an artist, from behind the camera to in front of the camera, it would be that.
What do you think it is, getting into why I get to talk to you? What do you think it is about end of the world movies and TV shows that people just keep coming back to them? What is it about the genre that people love?
I think it scares the crap out of everybody, you know? I think we love to watch and sort of fantasize about what could happen, and then we like to see, and what would we do as human beings if the worst possible thing did happen? It's somehow comforting to know that while that seems terrible, it makes our reality not seem quite as bad as it is also when you face these big disastrous situations that could happen, but that ultimately don't happen. And people just love a good ride, especially a Roland Emmerich ride. It's a big, flashy, splashy movie. And people love to sit and, escape, their own reality in a big way like this, I think, too.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday and was very much, it was exactly what I needed. It was just pure spectacle and a lot of
Right.
fun.
Right.
And he's also just very good at destroying the planet. What
Yes.
do you think? What do you think would surprise people to learn about making a Roland Emmerich movie? Like, what's it like on set, and working with him?
It's a lot more simple than the final product. Like you said, you just love watching this big spectacle. The sets aren't very big at all. A lot of it is green screen and blue screen that's added later. He's very, not he's not very stressed out about anything. He just has a knowing and he has a confidence in, what he's doing. And it's a lot smaller and more contained than you might think from watching the final product.
What do you think? What ended up being the more challenging stuff to film in this versus maybe what you expected going in?
I think it was probably sitting in that cockpit with the guys and really trying to imagine, what we would see. What does it really look like, to fly into the middle of the moon, Like I knew we wouldn't see a beach with seashells on it, so
Right.
what would we see, you know? And so we all had, I think, different versions or different ideas about what would be inside there. And so that was it for me.
The thing about this movie is the third act is all obviously VFX, and if it doesn't look good, this movie does not work. Thankfully, it looks good. So
Thankfully.
yeah, exactly. So what was it like for you watching the film for the first time and seeing what Roland had actually put on screen? Because those VFX look real good in the third act.
Really. And it was amazing because, like I said, as actors, we saw none of that. We really just saw blue and green screen. And we had his interpretation of what it would be. We saw some previses to give us an idea. But for the most part, I sat there and I watched it as a fan, as a moviegoer. And I'm just like, wow, I had no idea it would be that big. Or wow, I didn't know it would look that good. Or whoa, that's what we were flying through. So I love when I got to see that, even though I made the movie, there was still so much for me to learn and see that I had no idea I was going to see.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it's again VFX heavy. And you've done these
Yeah,
before, but
yeah.
I know that you're also doing Netflix's The Mothership, which is another sci-fi type thing. What can you tease about that?
Well, that, again, that's going to be another visual effects movie, not as heavy as this by any means, but it's pretty impressive to find a spaceship buried in your backyard, and what that would look like and what that would mean for you as a family, if you found such a thing. So I'm excited for that one too.
I was a fan of your directing, as I mentioned at the beginning with Bruised, and when I spoke to you for that a while ago, you mentioned that you were thinking about directing again. Have you been pursuing any script? Are you getting behind the camera again soon?
I am going to get behind the camera again. I don't really have, I can't tell you what I'm doing for sure yet, but I definitely want to do it again. And I definitely will not act in it this time.
So,
Directing is largely enough.
well, I think I would imagine that maybe getting the financing for Bruised also helped with you being on camera as well. Or am I wrong about that?
I don't really think so. That was a tough way to go. You know, there's this whole story I could tell you about that I won't, but finding that financing was really tough. One day we had money, one day we didn't. Even once we started to shoot, I was told countless times that we were going to be shut down because the money just wasn't coming through the way it was promised. So, you know, but you do things like that because they're labors of love, and I had to tell that story. So I had to keep pushing through, but it was really challenging on many, many levels.
I'm very happy you made it. Thank you so much for talking with me today, and I wish you nothing but the best in the future. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so very much.